This is Feature Man. So I just watched a very interesting movie, and the movie was based on a true story. Now, I apologize for not knowing exactly what the name of that movie was, but the information I'm about to share with you is going to be worth sticking around for anyway. So basically, the movie was based on a true story where this girl ended up getting possessed. So she lost her mother, and she had a friend that was trying to basically help her contact her mother through the spirit world. And the first time she did it with some friends, and they gathered in a circle and they were chanting and I guess requesting to see her mom. She ended up seeing her mom in the forest. And then later on, the girl came to her house and said, I got another idea. I think this time we can get a more in-depth contact with your mom. So she had this mirror, and she had her call out to her mom through that mirror. And so this sounds like mirror magic, and it sounds like that game that people used to play called, I can't say the name, but it has to do with Mary. And they say that name into the mirror, and they are supposed to see some type of entity or something like that. And so this sounded a lot like that, where she had her friend call out to her mom through that mirror. And so she requested to see her mom, and then that's when everything changed, because the girl, after that incident, opened herself up to possession at that point. And so this was very disturbing from that point on, because the girl's behavior changed. She wasn't herself anymore. She took on a whole new personality, and her dad noticed it because her mom was gone. So basically, it was noticeable how she had started behaving different and acting different, and it got worse and worse progressively. So this is the dangers of trying to contact the spirit world and associating with mediums and channelers and stuff like that, because you never know what you're going to open yourself up to, even when playing maybe tarot cards or the Ouija board or anything like that. I've never really heard of anyone actually trying to do this mirror thing before, but like I said, I did hear that game. So it's probably connected to that, where it's possible that people are attempting to contact the spirit world through these mirrors. And I've seen it firsthand with that whole game, you know, with that Mary game. And it was very disturbing. I didn't do the calling out, but I was an observer. And this is when I was like a teenager. So, you know, I experienced that, and it was pretty disturbing. I saw maybe what you can say, some type of ghostly looking face start to appear. It was kind of weird. Now, I'm not sure if it was my mind or not, but it seemed real. So I would advise no one to do that ever. That was very disturbing. And like I said, I didn't do the calling out because I knew better. Like, even as a young teenager, I knew not to actually do the calling out. I shouldn't have even been an observer. But as a kid, sometimes your curiosity gets the best of you. And so that's the problem, I think, is with these teenagers. That's kind of what this movie was showing. Like, I think you're more easily influenced to do something like that as a teenager, because your curiosity might get the best of you. And they even used to have those magic 8 balls where you can ask your fortune into this 8 ball, and the words will pop up. So this curiosity can turn into something very disturbing in your life. And I would bet maybe this might have happened to some of the people in mental institutions and psych wards and stuff like that. Some of the people that are talking to invisible people and stuff like that. Maybe they attempted to contact the spirit world, and maybe that's the result sometimes, you know, because I've seen people that I've known that were normal as a teenager, and they became totally disconnected later on in life. I've seen maybe a couple people like that, and they just become not themselves anymore. So I'm wondering if maybe they tried to attempt something like this, where maybe they tried to get contact with the spirit world, or played one of these Ouija board games, or whatever practices a teenager might stumble into and want to try just because they're curious about if this stuff really works and if this stuff is really real or not. I'm suspecting maybe this happens more than people might realize. So that girl was not the same in that movie. Like I said, it was based on a true story. And the interesting part was towards the end. Now, I don't know how much of this was accurate or not in real life, or if they added more to the movie or not. But in the movie, basically, the priest attempted to exorcise the spirit out of her, but it looked like it was a failed attempt because one of them didn't make it, didn't survive. And the other one, basically in the end, it looked like she was just kind of locked up in a crazy house. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier, where sometimes I'm looking at some of these mental institution places and wonder if that could be the story of some of these people that are in there. Maybe, like I said, they try to contact something. So it makes me look at mirrors different. I mean, anything to do with mirrors, if it's not just looking in the mirror to get yourself ready before you leave the house, where maybe you're fixing your hair or brushing your teeth or something, you know, anything like that is normal behavior. But once you start to use your mirror as some type of platform to contact any type of spirits or even anything questionable at all, like if you're not just using your mirror to get ready to leave the house, I think that you might be possibly opening yourself up to something, because you never know how these mirrors could be used. And, you know, mirrors are everywhere. And there's this idea of the black mirror, because, like I said, I haven't done any real deep research on rituals and mirror magic or anything, but I've heard of a black mirror before in my brief research on other topics when it might have came up, and I've heard the concept of possible black mirrors. And then it's interesting that our phones and TVs look like black mirrors. So I'm wondering if there's a reason why everyone has a black mirror in their home through their television and through their smartphones, and everyone carries these on them at all times. So it's like everyone has a black mirror in their pocket, and at home there's a black mirror, maybe a few, and everyone has regular mirrors as well. So when I think of this, it's like I'm wondering if there's anything to that. But, you know, that's just kind of curiosity. It's probably nothing, but you never know if it's intentional or not, why everyone uses these black mirrors and no one even really realizes it. It's like something that's hidden in plain sight almost, you know? So yeah, it's an interesting observation for sure. But like I said, as long as you're not using these mirrors in order to contact the spirit world or anything like that, I wouldn't think anything of it. I wouldn't be freaked out or creeped out or anything about a mirror if you're not doing anything wrong. Like if you didn't do anything wrong, what do you have to be afraid of a mirror for? But just the concept that people could be using these mirrors for these types of things is disturbing nonetheless. If these mirrors can open a portal, that would just be something else. I saw another movie that kind of showed the same thing, where they somehow turned their mirror into a portal. They found something strange in the attic, this strange mirror, and they realized that it was a portal. So they went through it and they were in another world. And that portal was open, and it was a pretty weird movie kind of. It wasn't as much of a horror movie as the other one, but the concept that there's this old mirror where they were able to jump through as a portal, I found that interesting. Also with the Matrix, I remember there's a scene, especially in the new one, because I don't really remember the old ones as well. I haven't seen those in a while, but the new one, they needed to get to a mirror to activate the Matrix so they can jump through it when they were trying to get Neo back into the real world, because I guess he had, in the newest one, he had forgot who he was again, and he was just living his life regular, but he knew something was wrong deep down inside. And when Morpheus and them came, you know, they were using mirrors as a portal. And even when he gave them the pill, they had a mirror there. And so that's another clue, it looks like, how maybe these people that practice the occult, maybe they know something about mirrors that the general public doesn't. Maybe they're using these mirrors as a form of magic and as a form of opening portals and who knows what else, maybe contacting things through them, I guess. And, you know, it seems like these mirrors could possibly be much more than we were told. And so, like I said, though, I don't recommend anyone really looking too deep into this. I just wanted to have the conversation because, you know, I found it pretty interesting, but not enough to look deeper into it, because you don't want to get that curious where you're starting to like, okay, let me see if this is real and let me see if I can figure out what people do to use their mirror as a ritual to contact spirits and stuff. The conversation, I think, is surface level, where we had the discussion because it was kind of interesting, but I would leave it there. That'd be my advice, is to just leave it there at this discussion. Maybe talk amongst yourselves. If any of you know anything more about it, maybe surface level stuff, but you don't want to get into a deep discussion about how was it exactly done? You know, what's the instructions? What instructions would I use if I was to try to attempt this? You know, you don't want to do all that. Like, that's just a warning, because I'm pretty sure there's probably something to this information. So let's leave it there, though. I'm going to leave some links in the comment section and description box if you want to do more research with me on similar topics of this discussion we just had. Also, I'll leave links to my other channels, my social media. Please follow me on my social media. It's very important. Also, I'll leave links to my other channels, my Feed Your Mind store, my free email newsletters, and much more. If you would like to support this channel, please donate as little as $1 to help get this channel online. So thanks for your support. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Feed Your Mind signing off.